for our second half up braid, we are going to do 2 French braids into just the ponytail in the back. So what you want to do is brush out your hair and separate it as we previously did. And then you grab the smallest little section of your hair from one side, split it into 3, and start braiding without pulling any new hairs in at all. This makes it kind of connect close to your head rather than starting all the way back here. So now you pull just a little section from one side and you pull it into your very left section of your braid. And then you also grab from this side and put it into your section of your braid. It's a little harder because it's smaller amounts of hair, but as you go along, adding that little bit in and twist on every side. Ready? So you twist and pull, you add section, add and section it out, twist and pull. Add your next section, twist that part, add your next section, twist and pull. So with these smaller braids, you have to make sure you're not picking up all this hair because we're not wanting that much hair to go into the braid. So you kind of have to watch your sectioning as you go. Some people like to section it out before they start the braid and just section this part, which you're welcome to do. You just section it out just like you would this, and you put a ponytail on all this so that it doesn't get picked up. But for me, I feel it looks a little more natural and blended into my hair when I just eyeball it. So I like to just section out as I go. Pull, twist, pull. Grab your next section of hair, switch over to this side, and align it as best as you can. See, that gives more of a natural, even though it might look a little messy, it gives a natural look, I think. Twist and pull. And as you get to the back crowning of your head, it's a little more difficult to not pick up too much hair, so just attempt to wrap your braid around your head while sectioning out these smaller amounts of hair. And you try to get as far to the back as you can in order to get it as close to this other braid. So keeping that in mind, finish off your braid. So what I like to do in order to make it not come and fall out on me while I'm trying to braid the other half of my hair, I just braid it down. And some of these pieces like to get into it, but it doesn't matter because we'll end up unbraiding it either way. But you just braid it down and ponytail it off. And what I like to do is section it in half and put a ponytail on this entire thing by just trying to make a little bun here so that it doesn't get in your way while you're doing this side. So now you brush this away from your face so you can start your braid away from your face. And you take just as much hair by pinching either side and measuring it. And then you split it into 3. And again, you start off your braid just as long as you made the other side and just as tight. And you can compare and see how long it is by feeling for it right there. So that's about as long as the other side was. So now we're gonna start grabbing our tiny pieces of hair and pulling, twist, and then you grab your other piece of hair and you pull it out and grab the other side of hair, pull and twist. See what I'm doing here? You grab your section and then you grab your other side section, pull and twist, section, and then try and measure it straight across. That's pretty even right there, so we will keep trying to go right about there, pull and twist. Now if you don't know how to do a French braid, I've made a video on that and it's a little more clear than these tiny braids I'm doing here. It's a little harder to show you what I'm doing. The importance is the symmetry on this one. So we pull and twist. We're looking pretty straight. And we need to make sure we're rounding around our head as best as we can. Now I accidentally got a little bit too much hair in this one, so you're welcome to pull it out at this point just to be able to grab the hair that you need in order to get close enough to that other braid. So you're keeping in line with your braid still while pulling the back of your braid around your head and braiding it down a little bit so that we can have an easier time pulling these two together. So now that you have your two sectioned out braids, you just try and pull the hair together without pulling any new hair from this middle section in. So what I like to do, if you can see here, is kind of section it out by pulling these loose strands down and flattening them against my head. And then I like to pull them together as best as I can. So at this point you could just leave it. You've got your two French braid look here. But what I like to do to add a little more look to it, also to keep from these hairs here from fraying, I like to add a flip to it. You gotta pull this apart a little bit, take your finger, push it up through the back, and your thumb, and you can get as much space as you want as long as this doesn't pull all the way out. So you've got your finger and your thumb up in there. I like to twist it around my finger and pull it with my thumb and my finger straight down. And then I like to straighten it out a little bit and pull these hairs in with the curve. So it gives it a little bit more of a look in the back rather than it having it just flat. So for our third braided look, we're going to just braid the entire top of my head and then leave the rest down for that more flowy look. So first we're gonna pull all of our hair straight back and brush it out. And for this one, I like to section it out first so that I have the right amount of hair ready for me. So I pull that straight forward so that I can grab all of this hair. And I like to pull it into a small bun so that it fits against my head and refrains from getting into my braid. So now that we've sectioned that out, we're gonna start on the braid. I like to go straight from my eyebrows, straight back, and grab a tiny piece of hair. So you pull it out and section it out from your head and pull it into 3 different sections. And you'll start your small braid again, just to make it start at the tip top of your head rather than so far back. So then you start grabbing little sections of hair And the smaller sections of hair, the better look you get, because it makes it look tighter while being thick. So you're grabbing your sections of hair and French braiding it straight back by pulling and twisting like we showed before. And we're keeping it tight this entire time so that we can have a tight look right here, and then at the end pull it out to thicken it. As we get to the end, I like to kind of go over my head and try and make sure I've gotten every last piece of hair. And then I start to braid down a little bit in order to make it not fall out as I'm tying it. So now we'll take our elastic and tie it around our head of hair. So now we've pulled out our hair and we've got our braided look. It's a little bit uneven, so I'll just pull it over a little and it can naturally even out by just pushing. And now we're gonna take it and pull tiny pieces out to make it have a thicker look. And pull them out all the way to the back. Now we'll tighten it back here again. And there you go. You've got your half braided look. And if you want a little bit more volume in the back, you can take some hairspray and just scrunch it and spray. And then hold it and wait. And you can just try and mess it up a little so that it gives it a little more volume back there. And you can do that all throughout your hair and just scrunch it and spray it, and it'll make it look a little bit thicker. Okay, those are all my tricks on how to do half hair updos. Let me know in the comments if you want any other new ones that I didn't try in these videos. And I hope you appreciated my tips and tricks, and thank you so much for watching.